Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah.
Hi, and welcome back to The Conscious Day Trader. As you can see, I've got a bit of a cold. Yes, I've managed to get a cold in Bali. I think it's when we went to the visas. There was a lot of people. I probably caught up something there, but I'm still fighting it through. I haven't posted since Friday, and I really wanted to get some content out there. One, because we have to celebrate. By celebrating that, I've now passed the milestone of 175,000. That's on the 100,000 bootcamp account. Yes, I have managed to do that with ICT 2022 mentorship trades, especially on the London kill zone. And today we started a bit earlier on the Asian session, close of Asian session, moving into the London Open kill zone. I had already trades, and the reason I want to do that is because it would fit me better to be trading in the morning, just because of what we have to do in the day with the family and our kid. But we're gonna see. I'm gonna try it out to see if I can get trades a bit earlier in the day, especially around the close of the Asian market. As we know, it starts creating the highs and the lows pretty close to the London Open historically. So that might be an area where we can go in. But first of all, like always, we're gonna start on with the MT5 and the results of today, which was $432. Yes, very good trade. It was pretty, we're gonna go in detail. We're gonna look at the entry, we're gonna look at the execution, we're gonna look at the management, as I like to call repositioning. I need to come up with a cool name. Repositioning is so boring and dull. Obviously, you know that is come from pound averaging, and that's something that I learned from the Scruffy Trader, but I've kind of created my own way where I kill certain trades and reopen at a better price. And we're going to see, we only did that, we didn't actually do that today, only obviously twice. We killed the positions that we had at the top, and the two positions paid us off quite nicely. It could have paid us up all the way. I traded pretty much this low here all the way to this high, and I could have got double that money if I traded it up to the previous equilibrium of the day. But first day, when you open an account, you want to make sure you get some consistency in. It's always a little bit of excitement. However, I didn't feel that bad this time. But in terms of celebrating, let's jump on to our Fivers, which is the prop firm that I've been trading for since January. So here we are on the dashboard. This is the 100K challenge, the bootcamp challenge. I started it, it used to cost $85. Now they've gone to 95, but you get a 200,000 account when you pass it. So I've done all this work. I'm at 175, and maybe my timing was wrong, but we're going to get there. We're getting closer to that 200,000 account. So as you can see, we passed the 75,000. This is the funded. Up to that point, they give you a 25K, I think, and then a 50. And then when you passed the 75, they give you the 100K. So these are the what I've passed. So we got the So we got the 100K, and every 5 to 6%, I believe they increase the account, and we've done that 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. So if we go to our active accounts in progress, you'll see we currently have $183,387, and the reason is for that because I only took out 5,000. The reason is that I wanted to have some money into the account. Just for, you never know what happens. We're running on 100% green days, and I hope that goes for the whole year of 2023. That would be epic, but you never know. So we need some safety around the account, and I've left 75, so we've got around 8,000 into the account extra. So what we're going to do, just jump onto this account for a second. So this is the dashboard of the 150,000 that I had with the Fivers. As you can see, our growth has been really, 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 really good. And that's why we're on green days. We had a bit of a drawdown here and a bit of a drawdown here. But that happened, it happens about 20% of the time that I trade, and I manage out of it with my way of managing trades. As you can see, you get a little bit of a colorful celebration that you hit the 7,500, and we're gonna go to the 175. Next target is for 200, I believe. So that's a big milestone for me. We're gonna try and hit that This took 15 days, 15 trading days. And the reason is because I wasn't focused so much on making money. I was focused on hitting my daily targets, doing some good quality trades, analyzing and getting in and out of the market with some good management, which we're going to look into how I traded today. But that, I believe, is the reason that I have hit, if we look at the progress, 89 trades. So we're running on a 63.5% success rate. Now, that is a bit low for me. If you're used to me, my previous trading style before ICT, I would be around 80%. But there's a reason for that. The reason for that is I do close a lot of trades. So I do reposition nearly 50% of my trades, like 36%. Are losing trades, but actually repositioning trades. So I don't see this as a worry, the 63, because it's actually a lot higher. I'm running on green days, all green days since January. We're going to see that when I'm going to jump on to TradeSync. But before that, we're going to see our best profits for $500 at 21, biggest loss 355, biggest pip rate 52. So you have some really cool information here, and this is really crucial here. Profit factor. How much are you, let's see what it says. The profit factor shows how many times the gross profit exceeds the gross loss. A positive profit factor is representative by a value greater than 1. So we're nearly 4 times that. So we're in a good position. Another thing that I'm going to show you is that we trade pretty much the pound dollar. And a lot of people are asking, why not the euro dollar? The euro dollar is pretty much it's a lot bigger than the pound dollar. It's traded. It's a bigger asset, but it moves more smoothly. And when you're looking to day trade, I want a volatile market that can pick up those fair value gaps and liquidity rushes and taking out liquidity, which we do with the 2022 mentorship. So I want to use the pound dollar, and it's moving quite well. And something that's working, why change it? And we're going to stay with the pound dollar, even though I'm getting a lot of pressure from a lot of people saying do the euro dollar and also do the DAX. There's a lot of interest for the DAX. Until my account can take it, I won't be doing the DAX. I like opening more than 2-3 positions and repositioning them. The DAX would only allow me to open 3 lots. So if I'm in trouble, I can't open the 4th lot. I hit my margin. So that's something for when the account becomes bigger, maybe, if we want to change something there. Last bit about the celebration, which I forgot, is to jump on TradeSync. This is when the journey began. January, we hit that $10,823, which was absolutely insane. Coming from someone who has been into the 9-to-5 sort of mentality and underemployment and not being able to surpass what I'm worth in the job, having that fixed monthly employed fee is huge. To be able to have pretty much 5 times, close to 5 times or 4 times my salary back then, and even here. This month, I haven't added the 28th because the account closed. I couldn't export it, but it was around $600. So we hit $7,684, and we did that with a lot less trades. And as you can see here, a lot bigger trades, bringing it down to that lower average. And today we did 4, so super happy about that. I want to decrease my repositioning. That's my goal for this month. Obviously, another goal is to stay green and try and hit that 10K again. We're on a good start, and hopefully I can trade every single day of this month and we can make it happen. February was a good month. We didn't trade 4 days. So no 4 days of trading. Normally I get around $400 to $500. So that would have been a really, really, really good month if we had been able to trade that. And we're going into March, and this is TradeSync. So if you want something like that, I've left the link in the description of this video. It gives like a 40% discount. Do you need it? I'm going to say it again, no, it's a very flashy way of looking at your calendar. It's quite expensive as well, so you can definitely put all this information in Excel. I'm a bit lazy, and I like having some, for my previous job being a data analyst, I like seeing nice clean charts and graphs. So this gives everything that I want in terms of how many trades I had and my profit. And yes, you can go into other areas on your dashboard and you can see what is your best time of trading, what is your worst day of trading, what days do you want to avoid, and so on. And you can see the account performance and how we're doing around that, accumulated profits, and you can change and take out things and put things in and make it very, very bespoke to what you like. That being said, let's jump on today's trade, which was the pound dollar. It was, like we said before, so I'll call it Asian close, let's call it. So we were looking for, I like these setups that I'm going to show you right now. We've talked about it before. I always start with the dollar index, and funny enough, you can get some brilliant setups just by looking at the index and not the pair itself, because normally they work in opposites, obviously, but if you can't see one clear pattern on one side, you'll be surprised how you can see it the other way around very clearly. So for the new guys here, what we're going to do is going to start with our ICT setup for the daily bias. What you can see on my graph always is the market session, which you can find that on the indicators, and you go market sessions, and that you can, if you click into it, you can change it to what you want. I like seeing the London session. Normally I have the New York, but this time I knew I wasn't going to be trading the New York, so I took it out and I added the whole Tokyo session in, just to see what's been happening. I do like having the pip count in, and that will tell me how many pips it's done in the previous session. And on the top of this, I've got 10 sessions before. You don't want to go too far back on the sessions and look at the pip count, because fundamentals and other things can happen. The previous 2 weeks will be sufficient enough to give you an average of where the pip count is. So what we're going to do is zoom in, and here we are. So what we're going to do is, obviously I've got some graphs in there. I'm not going to clean the chart just so we don't spend too much time doing this. Okay, so let's go and put our previous daily high and previous daily low starting on the index, right? So we've done what I normally do is put the horizontal ray. That's the one I use, and I drag it on, and then I've got a setup. When I click on this, I can go and I've preset the daily high, which is going to be red, and the previous daily low, which is going to be green. After that, I want to find the 50% of the daily range, and that is, I call it equilibrium. Now we've put our dailies. Straight thing that I do, so before I forget, I go and do the same on the pound dollar. So I put the previous daily high, previous daily low, and the mid range. Now I do go quickly on the pound dollar in case there is a setup that I need to react quickly. Okay. Now when I watch this, so when I opened the graphs, it was around 240. So I had seen this move here. Okay, so this is what information I had. Obviously we had this fair value gap that was quite obvious, and it filled here, created the previous daily low, and then it pushed up, consolidated around the equilibrium, and came down. Right, so my feeling was that the pound is going to go up just by seeing this. Why? Because we filled this fair value gap. This could have been an extension of that move, overextension to take out the lows below this, buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, and it failed pretty much to come down to this sell side liquidity down here. So the two options that we had, the target would be if the market would crash down to the sell side liquidity, or would it retrace to equilibrium. We were closer to equilibrium. We were filling in a fair value gap. I liked what I was seeing for the long side. Also, what we had seen this move, the double top on the daily, and it failed to break this move last week. So we did go and tap in that blue zone there, and then it's pushing down. Now people can see this and they can have short bias and they can still make money. We both can make money going up and down. If you were trading up in the sort of London open session, you would have made money, and as we can see, if you were trading down closer to the New York session, you would still make money. So let's not be so hung up on bias. It's all relative to what time you're trading it and what you're seeing on the market. Like Scruffy says, I really like Scruffy Trader. He always has some good knowledge. Go and check him out. Trade what you see. Don't expect the market to do. Don't place your sort of beliefs and what you want the market to do into your analysis. Just trade what you're actually seeing. So that being said, we're going to be sticking on to the 15 minutes that we were on the pound dollar. I'm going to switch on to the dollar index. So this is what we were seeing on the dollar index. What do you know that I like doing? I like trading, or like Jordan says from the Fivers, fading into this area. Fading in terms of like fading this move back into equilibrium and potentially down to this. So I had a target that the market will want to come and fill. Now, do I believe that this fillment is going to fill this sort of actual gap? We're not talking about fair value gap. We're talking about a gap in actual price. There was no, funny enough, it created this little dot here, which it must have gapped here and then gapped again within milliseconds. So you have this little dot here of price. But as you can see, we have a gap, which always pretty much 90% of the time they come and fill them back up. But obviously that can take days if you're in the wrong direction. However, that gave me, I was looking for a long position for the pound dollar. This gave me a nice excuse. What is remaining to do to find a setup to go long on the pound dollar? So let's see what we looked at here. When I saw this, what I wanted to see now is what is the worst thing that can happen? So we've come from the low here, it's pushed up, broke the equilibrium, and it looks like it's going higher. Now, where can it go? Let's go back on the hour. On the hour, we identified this fair value gap here, buy side liquidity above this swing high, and another fair value gap on the top there on the hour. These are quite likely to happen. This is quite likely for the dollar index to increase all the way up to at least the 1 hour, buy side liquidity, and potentially go and break the high if I'm wrong. So what am I doing as a trader, day trader? I am planning my trade to get out of this bad position. I'm not thinking, I want it to come down obviously, but I'm thinking, what is the worst case scenario? Because if I know the worst case scenario, the profits will be easy to take care of itself. So I know that I'm going to be getting in around this 1 hour fair value gap, be getting in potentially in the buy side liquidity, if it shows setups, in around this area if it goes that high, and obviously if it breaks we're pretty far off here. So if that had happened, maybe I wouldn't have taken the trade. So we go back onto the pound. So now we're back onto our trading arena, and we want to do the same that we did on the dollar index, but for the pound. What happens if the dollar goes all the way up there? That means that the pound is going to be weak. So it's going to be targeting what? Sell side liquidity below here because of these lows. We've also got this fair value gap that is actually filled. That was another indication that I did want to take on the long side. And also we had this previous daily low. So what we wanted to do is to see this trade come as low as possible, which it did, and then give us a setup on the long side. Okay. And let's go back onto the 1 minute. What we're going to do, as we always do, because I like to show you the trade so you can see where my worst entry was and where my best entry was. So we're going to jump onto the MT5. My worst entry was at 119874. And my best entry was at 119692. So there we have it. We have the worst entry and the best entry. And what I normally do is when my best entry hits my worst entry, I take it out basically. Okay, so here we are. Before we're closing the Tokyo session, the price has been coming down and I got in quite a bad position. But why? What we saw on this trade, I thought this break was going to be the break for the upside. And yes, with ICT, you never can get it perfect. You need to manage the trades. I know if you're hardcore ICT and you don't, you've only learned ICT, you'll be taking losses by if this breaks lower. And that would have been a good thing, because then you would have been getting another setup. With my trade, I'm able to deal with a bad entry even if it's up here. When we look at pips, we're dealing with 25 pips, so $250 down from this trade down to this position here. So what we had the price was coming down, and then we have a change the character. We had this break here, break higher, but what it actually did at the time, it just took out this buy side liquidity above these highs here. Okay, so it took buy side liquidity. What did it fill here? It filled this fair value gap. And don't think that I'm not seeing this. It's not that I'm not seeing this and saying, like, how did I miss this fair value gap that is not going lower? It's my analysis was showing that this is going to fail to break these lows. The previous daily low. But if it did break the previous daily low, you saw on the dollar index, we have a plan. It's going to hit that 1 hour fair value gap. It's going to hit that buy side liquidity above it. It's going to hit that other 1 hour fair value gap on the top, and eventually going to go and break the high. So we were planning for this. I was happy to have my worst position here. Okay. So I got a feel after this break here, we broke higher, broke this structure, came down, filled that fair value gap there. It barely broke the low on this candle, and it pushed up. And that was my entry. I wanted this to go higher. So that was the worst. Then it pushed down. What did I want to do? I wanted to see the price taking out the previous daily high, and at the same time, look at the dollar index. What is the target? At this stage here, we've hit that 1 hour fair value gap, but it was only at the bottom. So I wanted to see a confirmation. So we did that. It came higher, and then boom, that came down. It came down and filled that fair value gap there, roughly. And we didn't enter there. We got a lower cut price. I didn't expect it to break the lows. I can't remember now if it did. Let's see. It did. So that was my best position, and now I'm sitting in a bit of heat. When I say a bit of heat, it's not that much. It's only $130 from that, and the top one is $300. So roughly around $500. That is way in my range of my risk management. As you know, if you're new to this channel, I try and risk. I don't do the ICT risk management. I do my own personal risk management. Because I have 100% success rate or 100% green days in this year, for me, I know what I need to do in terms of recovering from a bad day. So a bad day would mean losing about $2,000 to $2,500 max. That would be 4 days or 5 days of trading. But when you're hitting so many months of green days, I think you earn the right to be able to do that. So this is not for everyone, but it works for me, and that's crucial. Not everything that I do will work for you, and not everything that you do will work for me. So that being said, let's go back into the trade. So I had to sit in a bit of heat, and that they came back down, hovered above the previous daily high, and here I was confident, and boom, we got out. Where did I get out? I got out with, from this low here to that there, 20 odd pips twice, so $400. Yes, I could have held that 40 pips and more. I think it went, let's see how far it went. So it went pretty much to where I had it, 41 pips. If we go on the actual 5 minutes, we took out this high here. This was my original target, to come back and take this buy side liquidity above here. And it did that, and I was out. So now let's see what that looked like on the dollar index. So we had the gap. So we see that the price went up, filled that fair value gap on the 1 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. It filled that fair value gap, touched buy side liquidity, like we said, all part of the plan. It has now and then let's take out the replay. That worst case scenario is happening as we speak, which is 9 o'clock in Bali. So this is New York session now. As you can see, we traded down from this 1 hour fair value gap. So it went all the way up, didn't fill it completely, and then it paid us all the way down to equilibrium. So there you have it. If you've managed this far, well done. You've gone through a detailed analysis of ICT entries, my Yanis style of management, and we looked at the dollar index, we looked at the bound USD. Super successful day. We also celebrated the wins, which is hitting my 4th or 5th milestone on the 5%ers funded account. I also took some money out, 5,000, which was very quick. Within 2 days, it was in my account automatically. Brilliant service if you're listening to this, Fibers. And we're hoping to increase this. It can increase up to 4 million. So this is quite. I passed the challenges in 15 days. So I don't know if I can do that every month, but why not try to aim for the moon and land on the stars, as they say. So what we're going to do is I'm going to aim to hit that 4 million account. I don't know if anyone has that. If someone has, please comment. I would love to hear about it. But why not? Let's target for that. If you're following the journey, make sure, if you want to see more about Bali and how we moved to Bali, I quit my 9 to 5, and my wife and my kid, we literally took everything that we owned and came to Bali, and we're living the life of our dreams. I'm trading, and my wife is working online on her business. We couldn't ask for anything more, and this can be you. So make sure you put all the efforts in and to create it, to make it a reality. I was living in London, working, I don't know if I can say that, I'm going to beep this probably, day in, day out to get that monthly pay. Yes, I did like what I did, but at what cost? That's the things that you have to ask. And a lot of people say, isn't it risky to do this? And my question to you, isn't it riskier not to do this and let your life go away without reaching for goals that you want to reach, either monetary values or which monetary values give the freedom, financial freedom that you're looking for, and spend more time with life and with your family, your loved ones. So there you have it. If you want to see more of that, make sure you follow me on an Instagram, which is here, theconscious.daytrader. Avoid the scammers. They add R's and other things and no dots. So make sure you don't get scammed by anyone. I'm not going to text you saying, give me money. And that being said, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with a better speaking voice.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off.